Hi, I'm Kristal Hart, and we are in Atlantic City, and this is the battle for welterweight supremacy. We have IBF World Champion Jaron Boots Ennis going up against WBA World Champion Eimantas Stanionis. It takes place Saturday, April 12th. It is at Boardwalk Hall here in Atlantic City, and it is to prove who is the best in the 147-pound division. Also, the Ring Magazine Championship is also on the line. And this is the weigh-in.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Circus Maximus here in Caesars, Atlantic City for the official weigh-in of our big night of World Championship Professional Boxing taking place at the iconic Boardwalk Hall tomorrow night. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing, and we're sponsored on the night by Bet Online, Everlast, El Mexicano, O'Reilly Auto Parts, Riyadh Season, Visit Atlantic City, and Drip. And of course, all the action will go out live around the world exclusively on DAZN. Ladies and gentlemen, what a fight card we have. 8 fights in total, 2 title fights, and at the top of the bill, it's the claim for the crown, the battle of supremacy at 147 pounds, as Stanionis and Ennis vie for the WBA, the IBF, and the vacant Ring Magazine Championship of the world. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start this weigh-in. Let's bring the fighters up to the stage so they can face the scale and face each other. Our first contest, 6 rounds in the lightweight division. Now making his way to the stage, his professional record, 5 victories, 1 defeat. He has 2 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Camden, New Jersey, please welcome Naheem, the Dream Parker. Parker. And his opponent now making his way to the stage, professional record, perfect 6-0, all 6 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of right here in Atlantic City, New Jersey, please welcome the Cisco Kid, Francisco Rodriguez. Now to the scale, Naheem the Dream Parker. 136 pounds for Parker, 136. Now to the scale, the undefeated Cisco Kid, Francisco Rodriguez. The lightweight limit, bang on 135 pounds for Francisco Rodriguez, 135 pounds.
A reminder, these two will kick off our action on Before the Bell, starting up at 5 p.m. Eastern. Pair of local products. Rodriguez from Atlantic City on the left side of your screen, and Naheem Parker from nearby Camden.
Rodriguez versus Parker, 6 rounds at lightweights, Matchroom Boxing live on DAZN from Atlantic City, New Jersey. Okay, our next contest, we're going to go 8 rounds in the super bantamweight division. Now making his way to the stage, his professional record, 9 victories, 7 defeats, 1 draw, with 1 win coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Millville, New Jersey. Please welcome Edgar, Double Trouble Cortez. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. He is undefeated in his campaign as a professional with a record of 15 victories, no defeats, 1 draw, and 8 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the reigning and undefeated WBC Continental America Super Bantamweight Champion, peleando desde Cejuayo de Morelos, Michoacán, México, Arturo Cardenas. Now to the scale, Double Trouble Edgar Cortez. 123.6 for Cortez, 123.6. Now to the scale, Arturo Cardenas. 123.2 for Cardenas, 123.2.
Well, part of what made Boardwalk Hall so famous was the work done by another fighter with the first name of Arturo. But here, Arturo Cardenas looking to stay undefeated, entering at 15-0-1, closing in on a potential title eliminator. That's what he hopes for in the second half of 2025.
Cardenas v. Cortez, 8-round super bantamweights, matchroom boxing live on DAZN from Atlantic City, New Jersey. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the weigh-in continues. Got 8 rounds of welterweight action. Making his way to the stage at this time, 13 victories, 1 defeat, fighting out of Hamilton, Bermuda. Please welcome Nicky Bascome. Bascome. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. He's undefeated, 13-0 with 9 knockouts, fighting out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Please welcome Tahmir, the Don Smalls. Smalls. Now to the scale, Nicky Bascome. 148.6 for Bascome, 148.6. Now to the scale, the undefeated Tahmir Smalls. 147.8 for Tahmir Smalls, 147.8.
Smalls, like we mentioned, a product of Bosie's Dungeon, just 25 years of age, trains alongside Boots Ennis, and the stock is rising. He took a step up in competition back in November against the previously unbeaten Santorius Martin, earned a win there. Then in February, he stopped what was his most experienced opponent to date, back in action tomorrow night.
Smalls versus Bascome, 8 rounds, welterweights, matchroom boxing live on DAZN from Atlantic City, New Jersey.
So we have a 6-rounder to start off the night and an 8-rounder between Smalls and Bascome, and then it's a 4-rounder for someone who we have grown to know more and more over these last 6 months or so. Zaquin Moses, the cousin of Shakur Stevenson, back in action for his 3rd pro fight. He'll be taking on the Puerto Rican Alex Pallette.
All right, our next bout, 4 rounds in the super featherweight division. Now making his way to the stage, his professional record 1-3. That one win came by way of knockout. He fights out of Toa Baja, Puerto Rico. Please welcome Alex Pallette. Pallette. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. His young professional record thus far perfect. 2 fights, 2 victories. One of them came by way of knockout. He fights out of Newark, New Jersey. Please welcome Zaquin Moses. Moses. Now to the scale, Alex Pallette. 129.8 for Alex Pallette, 129.8. Now to the scale, Zaquin Moses. 128.8 for Zaquin Moses, 128.8.
Well, Moses coming in comfortably underweight, trying to move to 3-0. He stopped his last opponent, Mario Garcia, back on January 25th on the Pacheco Nelson undercard. And some good jawing to start it off here.
Zaquin Moses, Alex Pallette, 4-round super featherweights matchroom boxing live on DAZN from Atlantic City, New Jersey.
A little spice added right there between Moses and Pallette. And that will lead us into the main card, again, beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern, where we will see the mandatory challenger for Stanionis' WBA welterweight championship.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next contest, 10 rounds of boxing scheduled in the welterweight division. This bout is being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing in association with World of Boxing. Now making his way to the stage, professional record, 17 victories, 2 defeats with 8 wins coming by way of knockout. Peleando desde La Zapita, Buenos Aires, Argentina, Franco, Cazador Ocampo. Ocampo. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. He is undefeated, 16 victories, no defeats, 9 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Bukhara, Uzbekistan. Here is the 2016 Olympic silver medalist and the former WBA International and IBF North American champion, Shakhram, Wonderboy Giyasov. Giyasov. Now to the scale, Franco, Cazador Ocampo. 153 libras, 153 pounds for Ocampo, 153. And now to the scale, the undefeated Wonderboy Shakhram Giyasov. 149 pounds for Giyasov, 149 for Shakhram Wonderboy Giyasov.
So again, a welterweight contest, a non-title fight. Giyasov trying to pick up a 5th straight win in the United States here as he faces off against the Argentine, who is fighting outside his home country for the first time.
Giyasov versus Ocampo, 10 rounds, welterweights, Matchroom Boxing, live on DAZN from Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Giyasov and Ocampo start off the main card tomorrow night, beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern on DAZN, and then it is another look at the United States bronze medalist from the Paris Games last year, Omari Jones, back in action as a pro.
Okay, we stay in the welterweight division. Right now we're going 6 rounds, 147 pounds, making his way to the stage, 13 victories, 5 defeats, 2 draws, 5 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Please welcome William Action Jackson. Jackson. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. Young professional record perfect. 1 fight, 1 victory. And that victory came by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the 2024 Olympic bronze medalist fighting out of Orlando, Florida, Omari Banger Jones. Jones. Now to the scale, William Action Jackson. 150 pounds for Action Jackson, 150 pounds. Now to the scale, Omari Banger Jones. 149.6 for Omari Jones, 149.6.
Omari Jones fighting for the 2nd time as a pro in a little under a month. He made his pro debut in his hometown of Orlando back on March 15th. Took out Alessio Mastronunzio, an experienced Italian, in just 2 rounds. Here he faces a 36-year-old and William Action Jackson.
Jones v. Jackson, 6 rounds, welterweights, Matchroom Boxing, live on DAZN from Atlantic City, New Jersey.
That match scheduled at welterweight. There was a catchweight. It'll be interesting to see what Omari Jones does in his immediate future regarding weight class. Welterweight, junior middleweight right now. He's looking to just go 2-0 after this weekend here in Atlantic City.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to weigh in the chief support of the evening. As Mr. Eddie Hearn from Matchroom Boxing is proud to present 10 rounds for the WBA Continental North American Super Featherweight Championship. Now making his way to the stage, please welcome the challenger. Professional record, 22 victories, 4 defeats, 1 draw, with 17 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Cleveland, Ohio. Here is the former WBO Intercontinental and WBC Continental Americas champion. Here is Thomas Gunnerman Mattice. Mattice. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. He is the defending titleist. He's a southpaw with a professional record, 16 victories, only 1 defeat. He has 1 draw with 8 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Camden, New Jersey. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the former WBA featherweight champion of the world and the reigning and defending WBA Continental North American Super Featherweight champion, Raymond Savage Ford. Now to the scale, the gunner man, Thomas Mattice. 129.6 for the gunner man, 129.6 for Thomas Mattice. Now to the scale, Raymond Savage Ford. 130 pounds, bang on the super featherweight limit for Raymond Savage Ford.
130 even for Ray Savage Ford, the former super featherweight champion. He looks healthy, he looks full, and in a better spot now as he gets ready to go for his second fight at 130 pounds. These two have a lot of respect for one another, but it's going to go out the window tomorrow night in Atlantic City. And there you see Montana Love flanking Thomas Mattice, fellow Cleveland native.
Raymond Ford, Thomas Mattice, chief support, 10 rounds for the WBA Continental North American Super Featherweight Championship. Matchroom Boxing, live on DAZN from Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Ford and Mattice weighed in. All that's left to do is weigh in for the main event, the welterweight unification, as Jaron Ennis puts his 33-0 record and his IBF title on the line against the 15-0 Eimantas Stanionis, his WBA belt on the line, along with the vacant Ring Magazine Championship.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute pleasure to welcome everybody here today to Circus Maximus at Caesars, Atlantic City, for the official weigh-in for our big night of World Championship Professional Boxing taking place tomorrow night at the iconic Boardwalk Hall. And ladies and gentlemen, it's been almost 11 years since we've had a major fight in the big room at that iconic venue. Sergey Kovalev defeated Bernard Hopkins November 8, 2014 in unanimous fashion. But the venue is much more than a building. It's a cathedral of boxing history. From Sugar Ray Robinson to Mike Tyson to Arturo Gatti, the echoes of greatness live within those walls. And tomorrow night, a new chapter begins as Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing, in association with Tom Brown of TGB Promotions, are proud to present 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF, WBA, and vacant Ring Magazine Welterweight Championship of the World. Now making his way to the stage, he has a perfect professional record. 15 victories, no defeats, with 9 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the 2016 Olympian fighting out of Kaunas, Lithuania. Tomorrow night, he makes his second defense of his world title. Here is the reigning, defending, and undefeated WBA welterweight champion of the world, Eimantas Stanionis. Stanionis. And his opponent now making his way to the stage, also a perfect professional record, 32 fights, 32 victories, with 29 of them coming by way of knockout. Saturday night, he makes his third defense of his world title, fighting out of and proudly representing his home of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Here is the reigning, defending, undefeated IBF welterweight champion of the world, Jaron Boots Ennis. Ennis. Now to the scale, the WBA world champion, Eimantas Stanionis. 146.8 for Eimantas Stanionis, 146.8. And now to the scale, the IBF undefeated world champion, Jaron Boots Ennis. 146.4 for Jaron Boots Ennis, 146.4.
Both fighters coming in under the welterweight limit. Stanionis flat out looks ripped, and Jaron Boots Ennis looks healthy as well. Reminder, no second day weigh-in due to the unification fight. Final stare down. Let's listen in.
Jaron Boots Ennis, Eimantas Stanionis, 12 rounds for the IBF, WBA, and vacant Ring Magazine Welterweight Championship of the World. Matchroom Boxing in association with TGB Promotions, live on the Zone from the iconic Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City, New Jersey, USA.
Eimantas, you look in incredible shape. Boots Ennis looks in incredible shape. No rehydration clause. How much weight do you plan on putting on after this?
I don't focus, to be honest, how much I will put and how much he's going to put. It's the skills, you know.
Now, a lot of people were suspecting that Boots Ennis was having a difficulty making 147. What do you see now in his eyes, and what do you see in his body?
You know, he's true professional. He's trying to make a weight. He made a weight, and I appreciate that and I respect that, you know. I've been in some situations where somebody couldn't make weight, so now everything is set, everything is done. I'm happy, and That's it.
Number 1 versus number 2, 2 champions, unbeaten. I mean, this is the best of the best. Any predictions?
I'm all in.
All in.
Love it. He's all in.
All in.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Sergio. We are now going to get the final word with the IBF welterweight champion of the world in Jaron Boots Ennis. And champ, I noticed when you stepped on the scale, you gave the hush motion.
Yeah.
There's a lot of noise, I think for the first time in your career, kind of rising here. People were saying that your stock maybe stalled a little bit last fight. What are they going to be saying about your performance after tomorrow?
They're going to see. I'm going to show the world. I'm going to show the world why I'm the best in the world. It's my time. My time as Nell and that WBA, that Ring Magazine belt, and my IBF, we're going back to Philadelphia.
You've been talking about wanting to stamp a legacy. What drives you for greatness in terms of legacy over maybe the fame and the fortune that other championship fighters strive for?
Legacy is, is everything. I want to stamp my name at the welterweight division, and be up there with the Greeks, Sugar Ray Leonard, Floyd Mayweather's, and it's that time.
What did you see in Eimantas Stanionis' eyes in the final face-off?
Them belts coming home, like I said, them belts coming home. It's that time. I'm gonna show the world why I'm the best in the world. Make sure y'all tune in. Don't get up to get no popcorn, don't move, don't blink, none of that. It's that time.
Now, there will not be a second day weigh-in because it's a unification fight. So I got to ask you, what's on the menu for breakfast tomorrow?
Anything. No Diddy.
Well done. We'll end it right there. Jaron, good luck to you tomorrow. Thanks for the time.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
We're going to bring in Eddie Hearn here as we close in on fight night at the historic Boardwalk Hall. I thought David Diamante did a terrific job with that monologue about the history behind Boardwalk Hall. How likely is it that with this 1 versus 2 matchup, we could be looking at another piece of history for tomorrow night in this city?
Yeah, I mean, David said it bang on. This venue is synonymous with some of the greatest names, some of the greatest fights in the history of the sport, not just in this country, but in the world. And when you talk about boxing venues, Madison Square Garden, MGM, the Boardwalk Hall's right up there. It's going to be completely full to the rafters tomorrow night, and it deserves it because I think this is the fight of the year. I think this is the best fight we've seen in 2025. It's the best for the best. It's everything that a fight fan wants. And, it's also the Ring Magazine Championship. You look at the names that have won that belt in the past. Mayweather, Sugar Ray Leonard, Wilfred Benitez, Sugar Ray Robinson, Emil Griffith. It's just a huge, huge moment. And a huge moment for Jaron Ennis to go and show the world how special he is. He'll have to be special to beat Stanionis tomorrow night. I think Stanionis is coming fired up, charged up, in the shape of his life. And you will get a thriller in Atlantic City on DAZN tomorrow night.
Eddie, both fighters look in incredible shape. Stanionis looks like a bodybuilder. Boots, that's probably the best I've ever seen him. This is the type of fight, number 1, number 2, 2 champions, 2 unbeaten guys. How do you see this fight going, if it goes into the distance, or do we see a knockout?
I mean, look, I was surprised yesterday to hear Bozy call out the early stoppage for Boots. Stanionis will be aggressive. He probably will make some mistakes early, and Boots is a fantastic counterpuncher. He's got a tremendous IQ. As the fight goes deeper, of course, the pressure of Stanionis, the engine of Stanionis, it's going to cause anybody problems. But, they're 2 tremendous fighters. It's a great matchup of styles. I can't see anything but a fight of the year contender. And this is exactly what we want. We've seen some tremendous fights in Saudi and the Ring Magazine cards, and now we're seeing another one week in, week out, just 2 weeks before 65,000 people in London for Ben v Eubank. Boxing's on fire right now. It's all on DAZN. and tomorrow night you'll get an instant classic, and something for pure boxing fans, something for the hardcore, something for casual sport fans, and something for everybody. Just a tremendous fight card and a main event, like I said, that I believe will deliver fight of the year.
One more before we close it out here from AC for the weigh-in show. I think it's appropriate because it's the weigh-in show. I was asking Jaron, no second day weigh-in for IBF rules, unification fight. How does that play a factor into tomorrow night in your opinion?
I think it's great news for Jaron. I mean, look, we all know he's a massive welterweight. I've got to say, I've been around him all week. I was with him this morning. Seemed very different compared to the Chidazian fight in terms of the way he made weight. I would think it is a struggle for him. He's a huge 147-pounder. But not having to think about the weigh-in tomorrow, not having to get on the scales tonight, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, measure your food, measure your liquids, measure your water, go out there. You don't want to go crazy. You don't want to start putting on 20, 25 pounds, coming in the ring feeling lethargic. He needs to be razor sharp tomorrow night. He's got a great team around him. but not having to think about that weigh-in tomorrow morning, having a good sleep and a good meal tonight, that's going to set Boots up for a great performance.
Yeah, unlike his last couple of fights, it's going to be a great breakfast in Atlantic City for Jaron Boots Ennis. Will it be a great night? Well, we are a little over 24 hours away from finding out. It is poised to be a terrific showdown. 1 versus 2. Ennis Stanionis. Main card begins tomorrow here from AC at 8 p.m. Eastern. Join us for Before the Bell at 5 p.m. Eastern at the historic Boardwalk Hall.
I'm Kristal, Hart reporting from Atlantic City. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the fight.